Hello there friends and followers, and welcome to this P3D video. I've decided to switch gears a little bit and do this video due to popular demand, and we're going to be flying the 747-8 today's service from New Doha to Kuwait International Airport. We are going to be using historical weather in this video to recreate the events of the 14th of November 2018, during which Kuwait experienced one of the heaviest thunderstorms in its history. In fact, we haven't had strong rains and thunderstorms in 50 years. And so we are going to be attempting to land the aircraft at Kuwait International. Just as a note, all the aircraft that were bound to Kuwait International during that time of day were rerouted. So without further ado, let's get things started and get this Queen of the Skies up in the air. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over here to the overhead panel, and we're going to start our battery. Standby power to auto. We'll start the APU. And we'll wait for the APU now to start. Really a brilliant aircraft by PMDG. And I really hope that someday we'll see something of this fidelity in X-Plane. We're not going to be using the electronic EFB today. I've had a short video showing its features previously. I will link it in the description of the video. Okay, FMC is available. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at our flight plan. And we need about 25 to 20 kilos of fuel. I'm just going to go ahead and say 26. FS actions, fuel, and we'll say 26,000. All right, return. And payload we can leave as it is. Doors, we're just going to go ahead and close all the doors. Return, let's set the parking brake and remove the ground equipment. Okay. All right, let's take a look here at our APU. The APU is now available. APU Gen 1, and we're going to go ahead and set the DIRs to, or the IRSs to nav mode. That is done. Let's see here. Everything else looks good. Window heat. And let's set up our seat belts. Auto. And we're pretty much good now. Let's go ahead and program the FMC. Alright. FMC. Everything here looks good. Position initialization. We are at Oscar Tango Hotel, which is New Doha International Airport in Qatar. And we can just copy that in here. We'll go to route. And I have the flight plan route from SimBrief. So we're just going to use that. Go, activate, execute. All right, so here's our flight plan today. We are going to be departing Qatar runway 34 right. We're going to fly direct to Foxtrot India 16 Romeo, and then direct to Tovan, direct to Padam, direct to Lauter, and then we're going to take airway 453 onto Det-T, and then to Devon 2 Delta, star into Kuwait International. We're going to land runway 15 left. So 34 right is the departing runway, and we're going to go back to the index and set our arrival, which is the Devon 2 Delta. That's the one there. And we're going to do 15 left at Kuwait International. Let's see if there are any that's combo, solemn, Gisak. Hassle transition, okay. Execute. Let's check our legs page real quick here. There are no discos. Everything looks good. We'll go to the performance initialization page. I'm going to set our zero fuel reserves. We're going to be cruising at 36,000 feet today. Let me just verify that real quick. 360. Cost index for our flight is 92. That's 92 right there. Thrust limit, we'll derate. Takeoff, we'll do flaps 10. And center of gravity, 23%. We'll calculate the trim for us now, 4.9. And we'll just stick our speeds there. V2 is 156. Okay. So V2 is 156. Flight directors are on. Let's set our altitude to 36,000 feet. There we go. 36,156. Let's set our trim to 4.9. For that, we're going to need to turn on the hydraulics. All right. And 4.9. We'll go right over here first. And let's see here. 4.9 is set. And we are now pretty much ready to start the aircraft and taxi out of our position. Legs page, FMC, and we're going to go use VNAV. So VNAV climb is set. All right. We're doing really good. Terrain, airport. We're going to use the weather on the other side here. And we are now ready to complete the preparation here over the overhead panel. Don't need those. And we need to arm the emergency lights. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and turn on our beacon to both. And we are now ready to call the pushback truck, RTO for rejected takeoff. And we're going to set our altimeter. And we are now ready. So let's go ahead and call the pushback truck. Prepare for pushback and departure. We're going to do nose to the right.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Checklist.
Locking gear.
Right. Oxygen is tested. Flight instruments are tested. Before start, MCP is set. Takeoff speeds are set. CDU pre-flight is completed. Trim units 0 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing is complete. And we are now ready for engine start. Okay.
Departure check completed. Bypass bin inserted. Release parking brakes.
All right. Parking brake released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, we can start at will. Now, for the sequence, it turns out that every airline has a different sequence. So some of them start 1 and 4, 2 and 3. Some do 4, 3, 2, 1. Some actually do 1 and 4 only for long taxi. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with engine number 4. All right, all our engines are ready now, and the packs are on. Ground equipment is clear. Let's go ahead and check our checklist. Anti-ice, recall checked, auto brakes on RTO, flight controls are checked, ground equipment is clear, and we are now ready before takeoff. Flaps 10, flaps are set to flaps 10, so we are now ready to go. Let's go ahead and turn on our runway turn-off lights, taxi lights, nav lights, And we'll start the wing and logo. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay, we're ready now. So let's go ahead and release the parking brake and taxi to runway 34 right. By the way, taxi to gate, new Doha airport is still not compatible with P3D version 4, but there is a workaround. If you guys are interested, I can do a very short tutorial on how to make it work in P3D version 4. I've seen no problems whatsoever. The only thing I notice is that there is no AI traffic at the airport. We can see it around the vicinity, but no aircraft will land here for some reason. Right, here's the turn to runway 34 right. And we're going to make a final stop here and configure our lights for departure and do the final takeoff check before we depart. All right, final preparations before takeoff. Landing lights. Runway turn-off lights we do not need. Taxi light we don't need. Strobe. Let me actually go here and see what we're doing. There we go. Strobe lights. Wing lights are on. Logo is on. Everything else is good. We are good to go. All right. Let's go ahead and give it some power. Start the clock. All right, we're good to go. Let's go. And Toga.
V1.
Rotate.
V2. Positive rate of climb.
Gears going up. Right, nav is enabled now. Begin retracting our flaps. Alright, we can have the autopilot take over now. Alright, so we're going to continue now our steady climb to 36,000 feet, which is our cruise altitude. And as soon as we begin approaching Kuwait International, we should start seeing the weather conditions over there. We're going to climb now to about, let's see, 312 knots and 36,000 feet. All right, folks, enjoy the flight, and I will check back with you as soon as we level off at 36,000 feet. Welcome back, folks. We just leveled off at our cruise altitude of 36,000 feet for this flight today. Let's go ahead and bring up our flight plan here and check a few things. VNAV, we're approximately 89 nautical miles now from the top of descent point, and we can check the wind. Alright, so we've got headwind of about 31 knots. The current wind in our current position is 77 knots at 2:45, and we have a crosswind from the left of about 67 knots. Right, fuel quantity is looking good. Everything's looking fine for the remainder of our flight. Alright, so it's a short flight from Qatar to Kuwait. And I really hope that we can make it safely into Kuwait. Let me go ahead and introduce some panel lights here. There we go. Alright, so everything's looking good now. And we'll see what happens as we get closer to Kuwait International. Welcome back, folks. We are approximately 30 nautical miles from our top of descent point. You can see that the skies are now filled with clouds. The weather definitely is changing from where we started today from Qatar. You can see the forming clouds now here in the vicinity. Alright, let's go ahead and set things up for our approach into Kuwait. 30 degrees, 146 knots, 30 degrees flaps, and 146 knots for our approach speed. And everything else is set now. And let's check the platform altitude. So the platform altitude for runway 15 left is 2,000 feet. So let's go ahead and reset the MCP altitude to 2,000 feet. And the altitude is now set. And we just begun the descent to 2,000 feet now. We're not too far now from Kuwait International. Let's take a quick look at our flight plan. There we go, we are here. There is a restriction here at Depti at 3,000. And then at Passel we need to be at 3. I think we should be fine. Alright, all is looking good. And let's see how things pan out as we approach the airport. As you can see now, we're starting to see the pockets of bad weather here on the radar. Right here and right here. And look at that. That's just beautiful. I really like the clouds in P3D, especially with Active Sky Next as the weather generation, and the Rex Skyforce. Really like the cloud textures and just how weather is depicted, generally speaking, in P3D. So we're definitely heading into an area of very adverse weather conditions, and we will be able to see this in the weather radar here in a moment. But this doesn't look good. As you can see now, it's starting to show here on the weather radar. As you can see, folks, as we approach Kuwait International, we can see now the adverse weather conditions ahead of us, and we're going to go actually right into the thunderstorm. Now, normally in real life situations, when pilots see something like this, they either request reroute to another airport, or they try to go around this red area, the red zone. In our case, we're going to fly right into it. Hopefully we'll be able to make it safely into Kuwait International. Really bad weather here. You can see all the clouds forming here. in front of the aircraft. And on the ground on that day, the weather conditions were very, very bad. All schools and ministries, government sector, private sector, everyone was given the day off. It was really that bad. And the rain was actually continuous for 2 days. The southern part of the country was completely flooded. The total losses were estimated at $1 billion during those heavy thunderstorms, the couple of days that we've had. Alright, so we're approaching the area. We're going to start experiencing some turbulence, and as you can see here, we're moving into a thick layer of cloud, and we can see the thunderstorms in the distance. As you can see, we have now entered this area of really terrible weather, and here, let's set this here so we can monitor our rate of descent. And we are experiencing now some turbulence, as you can see here. Now this is the weather ahead of us. Really, really bad weather. The aircraft is shaking pretty hard. But, you know, it's the queen of the skies in the end, and we're going to put it to the test in this flight, and we'll see how we can take safe our transition altitude. And let's set the altimeter to 902. Absolutely terrible weather, and a very dangerous condition actually for aircraft. Well, we continue our descent through this really heavy thunderstorm to our platform altitude of 2,000 feet. And as you can see, things aren't good at the moment. Very, very adverse weather conditions here as we approach Kuwait. There's heavy rain, and visibility isn't that great either. Alright, we're descending through 13,000 feet. We're looking good in terms of our actual altitude, the rate of descent. Things are looking good. Alright, let's go ahead and bring up our checklist. Now we can see the rain is visible now. Alright, checklist. Let's see here, descend, recall checked, notes, auto brake. We're going to set auto brake to 3. Landing, VREF, and minimums. Yeah, we've set that. Good. Approach briefing is complete. And then now approach, we just have to set the altimeter. We just passed 10,000 to 9,000. We're going to go ahead and turn on our landing lights, runway turn-off lights, and wing lights, logo lights. Oops, we don't need that one. There we go. Alright, so we're all set now for our approach and landing into Kuwait International. I can see that the turbulence has subsided, and we just can see the terrible thunderstorms now as we approach Kuwait. Looks like the turbulence is back now through this really terrible weather. We are coming to about 6,000 feet now. You can see right here to the let me zoom in here. So there are some of Kuwait's landmarks. This tower here is Al-Hamra Tower. This is the famous communications tower. At the time it was built, when the actual construction was completed, it was the 5th highest tower in the world. And now, I don't know, it ranks, I think, 200 or something. Right here is Kuwait Towers, right there. That spot there is Kuwait Towers. So it's a really nice approach when you approach the country from this side, because you get to see all the landmarks. Kuwait Towers is very symbolic and it's been there for ages. Very nice looking tower. Maybe we'll get a closer look as we make our turn towards the airport. Alright, looks like we're having some trouble here descending due to the adverse weather conditions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to extend the speed brake, and hopefully that will help us descend, because we are not doing well at the moment. And as you can see, the turbulence is very, very strong. Alright, here we go. We are descending now. Our speed is not doing good at all. So we'll see what happens. We're definitely not doing well. There, I think you can have a better look here. There, this is Kuwait Towers right there. Alright, let's see what we're going to do with this situation here as it worsens. Alright, looks like we were able to reduce our speed a bit here, but we're still too high. Alright, let's see. So we can, FMC message, what does it say? Drag required, yeah. Alright, so we can actually go to flaps 5 now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and extend flaps. And that should help us reduce our speed. Alright, we're looking good now. The weather is just terrible. There you go, Kuwait landmarks. You can see them better here. And that's Kuwait Towers right there. Al-Hamra Tower, a very nice tower. That's the communication tower right there. Alright, so we are coming to our turn now, and we are actually looking pretty good. We're going to maintain 2,000, and it looks like visibility is going to be an issue as we approach the airport. Oh, we need to do that. Let's arm the speed brake. We're stalling. Situation is getting pretty dangerous here. Alright, let's go ahead and engage the approach button. Localizer is captured. But I'm really worried about the fact that we have stalled a little bit. Oh my god, this weather is just terrible and I can't see a thing. Alright, at this point, what I'm going to do is alright, let's go ahead and extend flaps 10. So I've extended flaps 10, and we're just going to wait for the dot here. And we're going to lower the landing gear. Our speed is extremely erratic at this point. And of course, it's for good reason. The weather is just terrible. I don't think we can see anything. Alright, here we go. One dot up. Let's go ahead and lower the landing gear. Alright, we're looking good. Glide slope is active now. And remember, our final approach speed is 146 knots. We're bound to runway 15 left. I can see the runway now ahead of us right there. No auto land. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the speed to 146. There we go, 146. Flaps 30.
1,000.
You know, folks, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make it, but I'm going to try. Alright, here we go, my airplane. Too low. Alright, here we go. Kill the auto throttle. Speed brake is armed, I believe. Hopefully it is. Alright, and touchdown. Let's go ahead and engage the reversers. And I'm going to use the brakes as well. And welcome to Kuwait International Airport. I think there is a turn towards the end of the runway. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at our landing. Well, I guess our landing wasn't a bad landing after all, considering the circumstances. And as you can see, the weather is still pretty bad here at Kuwait International Airport. I really like the ground refraction here, which shows the wet surfaces. And one of the things I really like in P3D. Well, folks, this is what I wanted to share with you in this video. I hope that you have found this video entertaining. If you have any questions, please do post them in the comment section below. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.